on? What is going on? You seen the thumbnail, you seen the title. Today's episode, today's show, guys, is gonna be about a reaction to a caller that did on King Richez's channel. Big shout out to King Richez. Before we get into the channel, guys, before we get into the video, before we get into the conversation, let's give our dues, let's give our shout outs to the Blackmail TV family. Big shout out to all the Blackmail TV sisters out there. Much love. And for all of you on your grind, on your purpose, on your mission, staying on your square, keeping yourself in that LSG mindset. Well done to you. The time is drawing close. Hold on, let me just pull up this video. The time is drawing close. The time is drawing near. As Kevin Samuels dropped last night, winter is coming, family. Winter is coming. So greetings to everybody joining to the Blackmail TV platform. Welcome to Nightly Notions. You know what time it is, family. 1 second. Let me just check the sound. Okay, we're good. We're good. I was just checking the sound there. So big shout out to all the Blackmail TV family. Thank you. Big shout out to the sisters. Always joining the conversation. Always joining the call. I'm just going to pull up this video real quick from King Richez. It's an old video that he did. It was a live call. And I think it's kind of pertinent and it's kind of important to the conversation that's going on right now. So I'm going to leave my comments to the end a little bit. But I want us to watch the video because I think it was really important that we at this time and in this moment understand, because over here on this platform, we're pushing LSG, love plus support equals growth. We're pushing LSG marriage, LSG business, LSG lifestyle, because we understand on this platform here, it's about values. We understand on this platform that we as a people, speaking to our people now for a second, is that the Western world and the Western society, the mindset, the construct, and the belief system, so to speak, the social construct, so to speak, has diluted our minds and our purpose and our being so much to the point where we are broken down as a community. All of us, to some degree, have been affected, have been infected by the depravity of this society. And we're walking around like, and really, family, we need to take stock, right? And understand that there's an attack coming. There's an attack on us. There's been an attack on us. And even now, as the system is changing, gentlemen, as the system is changing, the separation and the division between men and women is ever more apparent. And I say all that to say this, because over here, my wife and I, we're trying to push LSG. We're trying to say, look, we need to come together. We need to make sure we're doing businesses, we're doing group economics, we're having the right mindset, we're cleansing ourselves of the negative feelings and the negative people around us so that we can grow and we can manifest better, more positive outcomes for ourselves, our children, our children's children, and change and break the generational curses. But it's very important in this time and in this age, because if the men and women are at war with each other at the basic fundamental level of relationships, if men are going their own way and some women are acting in a masculine spirit, then what we have is a breakdown of society. That's what we have. We have a breakdown of our community. So if we're having a breakdown of our community, how are we going to achieve or break the generational curses? How are we going to do that, family? That's why I had to take a step back on the Nightly Notions. I had to put it out and say, well, hold on a second. What's going on here? This whole thing that's going on with the manosphere, sisters, it's here to stay. It's here to stay. And not only is it here to stay, but I think now there's certain parts of it. Let me just put this out there. There's certain parts of the manosphere that I don't agree with. But the fact that the conversation is being had, I definitely do agree with that. Because it's in the conversation that we can move, change thought patterns, analyze and hold to account the behaviors and the mindset and the thought processes that we've been thinking are conducive to our life, but not to our community, not to breaking generational curses, not to elevating our people and our community up from the gutter, from the low level base mindset. We know we're better than that. So I had to take a step back, and I'm thinking, okay, let me really look at this. So I'm going to be assessing some of that manosphere content, and for the sisters that want to know, I'm definitely going to be bringing out some of that to help you guys navigate what's going on, because there is a change. And make no mistake, that change is coinciding with the Great Reset. Things are not going to be what they seem in the next few months, and definitely within the next couple of years. So you have to prepare. But I'm going to leave that for another podcast. Today's show, guys, I'm pulling up the video. I was like, oh my days. Listen, big shout out to Dev for sending me this video. You know what I'm saying? I did see the original live a few months back, but obviously King Richez has done a clip. Let me just share my screen real quick so you guys can see it. And the reason why, hold on. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Wrong video. Hold up. Let me just pull up. Oh, let me just say this. Big shout out to Lola. Much love to you, sis, over there in the United States. Hope you're doing well. Hope the family's blessed. You know what I'm saying? This, hold up. Okay. Can you see the screen? Yeah, we go. Oh, no. Let me flip it. Okay, there we go. You can see it now, right? So this is Caller argues about why she doesn't respect black men. Now, the reason why I'm pulling this video up, gentlemen, is because for two reasons, for my ladies and for the gentlemen. But obviously, this podcast is for them gentlemen. So predominantly, I need you to understand this, men. Not all women think like this, number one. Number two, if you do come across a woman that thinks like this, you need to give this woman a wide berth. And I'm going to explain further why. Number three, let's just go into it. I'll leave the third one till last. But let's go into the video. Let's play it. And let's hear what really goes on. Now, what King Richez done here, he's dropped it into clips and shortened it down. So you don't have to watch the whole 2-hour video. But I have left in the description box down below the link to the full video if you wanted to watch the full thing. But here's the 11-minute clip. So let's get it.
Black women don't respect us. You know, they don't submit to us and all this. How can I submit to an emasculated man?
What? So you're saying every single black man is emasculated?
Hold up, let me take that back. Turn up the volume a little bit. And turn this volume down a bit more. So that hopefully it's not drowning it out.
I'm always saying black women don't respect us. You know, they don't submit to us and all this. How can I submit to an emasculated man?
What? So you're saying every single black man is emasculated now?
The thing is, I've actually dated a lot of black men, and I have dated white, dated Asian. I've been around the block, not in a bad way, but I always got this sense that black men, that I just don't want to respect them.
Well, that's something to do with you.
No, it's the energy they give off.
No, it's something to do with you, because it's the guys that you attract.
But that's the thing. Even if they are qualified, university graduate, high-paid job, they
But
just
then
lack.
Listen, the common denominator is you. If you're saying, listen, because you're saying you've dated all these different types of, this is what you're alluding to. You've dated all different types of men and all different types of black men, but you don't feel like you want to respect them. You're the common denominator, so it's you. So you got to ask yourself, why don't you want to respect a black man?
Because they don't respect themselves.
What? So all the men you dated didn't respect themselves?
Well, I've dated 3 black men, and it's just the way they carry themselves.
In what do you mean by that? In what way?
Well, I'll give you an example. One of them I've actually worked with. To white people, he gives off this attitude of, he wants to be all friendly. But then when it came to the black girls, he was rude. He had this attitude, and for me, it was just like, because I'm a black woman, and I just thought, why is he so nice to the white girls? Then the black girls, he's got attitude.
So why did you date him then?
dated him because I thought, you know, a high-paid job, maybe I can get out there someday. Well, he was the manager of the place.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say use him, but I just thought.
Real. You wanted to be the manager of the job. You observed that he was nice to white people and to your fellow sisters he was mean, but you thought I'm gonna date him.
All right. I'm gonna have to yank it there. I was thinking of doing the whole thing, right? And letting you guys watch it, but nah. I'm gonna have to yank it there. Let me take this back. So, all right. So I just want to play it so you guys can get an understanding and get an idea, right? Before I break it down. So let's get into it. Let's get active and let's see what's really going on here, right? So let's go.
Always saying black women don't respect us, you know, they don't submit to us and all this. How can I submit to an emasculated man?
What? So you're saying every single black man is emasculated now?
The thing is, I've actually dated a lot of black men.
You see, I gotta give King Richez the props on this platform because he does, you know, hold this female to task on her mental state and her thought process. But the first thing I've got to point out here, family, and you've got to understand, is generalizing is not a bad thing, right? Hasty generalizations, however, are a bad thing. So let me just throw this up real quick, right? Because I hear this a lot on the platforms when it comes to generalizations, right? And when people draw generalizations, yeah, that's the right one. When people draw generalizations based off little to no evidence, that's when it becomes dangerous because it becomes misinformed. And if they make decisions off misinformed information, first of all, she's saying, how can she submit to an emasculated man? So the question becomes is, the men she's dealing with, are they the emasculated men? Because clearly she hasn't dealt with all men. That's not possible. She doesn't like all men or find all men attractive. So by that understanding, the men that she's speaking about must be the men that are in her own 360, right? Not all men generally, or all black men generally in that sense, right? But let's go on and let's see where she's going to go with the argument, right? Because we just heard it, right? So let's see what she's going to. She said the men emasculate. So he asked her the question, right?
And I have dated white, dated Asian. I've been around the block, not in a bad way, but I always
she's been around the block.
Black men, that I just don't want to respect them.
Let me stop you right there. She said that I just don't want to respect them. That reminds me of somebody similar.
Your grandmother, your great-grandmother actually could work with a black man with more trauma.
Because they understood that the black woman and the black man are on the same side. Now that we're all free and independent and we could do whatever we want to, why would we seek to, you know, be one with the black man? We even think that.
It sounds very similar. This is over here in the UK. That's over there in America. Sounds very similar. And my question is to all the ladies out there, to all the brothers out there, to all the people that for the black community that shout black power, that shout diaspora, that shout ADOS, that shout all these different terminologies about coming together and building and yada yada yada. I'm sorry, but I call BS. I call cap. I call cap. Because how am I sitting here having a conversation and reading and seeing videos of women of this understanding, of this mindset? These are our daughters that we raised. So I'm holding both to account, parents, male and female. The females for raising these children and thinking that you don't need a man around, and for the men not stepping up into our role of being leaders in our masculine spirit. Put the women to the side, gentlemen. Look how this woman is speaking about us. What is the ethnic image that she is being given or in the delusion of? Yo, all right, listen. All right, let's play.
Well, that's something to do with you.
No, it's the energy they give off.
Oh, there you go. Richie dropped it. He said that's something to do with you. Now, let's see whether she's gonna take it. She's already said basically all black men in general are emasculated. That's what she's saying, right? Now, is that okay? Then she said she doesn't want to respect them. So that's something down to her. Now, let's look up respect for a quick second. Let's look up respect. Respect. It's esteem for or a sense of worth or excellence of a person. Now, she says she don't want to respect black men. Now, I want you guys to understand, yeah? Because a lot of times we grow up hearing buzzwords on the media and buzzwords going on, and we don't actually look into the definition of what words actually mean, because words have power. The pen is mightier than the sword. The pen is mightier than the sword. And because the pen is mightier than the sword, words mean things. So let's get some understanding. To have respect for someone, it says a personal quality or ability or something considered as a manifestation of a personal quality or ability. Difference to a right, privilege position, obviously respect of, someone or something considered to have certain rights or privileges, proper acceptance or courtesy, acknowledgement, treat well, benefit. But the first one stands out for me: esteem for or a sense of worth of excellence for another person. That's what respect is. And respect is something that's earned. Now, this sister, I don't know whether she's black or not yet, or whether she's of that society or that family, came out straight off the gate and said she don't want to. That's a conscious choice she's making. So I want our brothers and sisters to understand that when we talk about let's get together, let's build, these are the type of people that are moving in our 360. These are the type of people that are clicking like, follow, but they're not putting in no work. They're beneficiaries, but they're not contributors. The question is, when are we going to wake up and understand this is what's moving within us? Not everybody in our skin is our kin. And I said it all the time. Blackmail TV, LSG, it's a family of choice. You have to choose to want to apply love. You want to choose to want to apply support so that you can get the growth. It's about principles. The sister straight off the gate is saying, listen, I don't respect black men. Oh, Royal Rising says, big shout out to Royal Risings. Big shout out to the chat. I've seen you lot commenting in the chat. Big shout out to Lola. Big shout out to House of Blooms. Big shout out to True African Stand Up. Big shout out to all of you guys in the chat. The notion is you don't need no man. You got independence is the place in the place of a man to take your freedom and just whack. And just whack with it, ladies. Whoa, fire. Ah, Laura Rising, she's come out the block straight. She's not even playing. Oh, big shout out to Femi, Zoo, and Shayna Femi. She says she knew what type of man she got with. Should have never got with him. Yeah, definitely. House of Bloom says broad sweeping generalization statements. Well, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Bro Rising says we got people like Cardi B to thank for these corrupt mindsets out there. Oh my gosh, definitely. Oh, my sisters are definitely on fire tonight, hitting the bars. So let me play the video again, because let's just get this. First of all, she's not coming in good faith. And this is what I'm saying. If we're gonna come as a people and say we were tired of the crabs in the barrel mentality, I wish I had a clip for that. If we want to say that we want to stop the crabs in the barrel mentality, then not only do we have to have discernment to see the crabs around for who they are and what they are and how they think, so that we can remove them from our 360, so that we can better reach better goals and have better outcomes. She's not coming in good faith into any of her relationships, especially when dealing with black men. Now let's dig deep. Let's dig deep. Let's see how deep this goes.
No, it's something to do with you because it's the guys that you attract.
But that's the thing, even if they are qualified, university graduate, high-paid job, they
But
just
then
they
that,
just
listen, the common denominator is you. If you're
how
saying,
am I?
listen, because you're saying you've dated all these different types of, this is what you're alluding to. You've dated all different types of men and all different types of black men, but you don't feel like you want to respect them. You're the common denominator, so it's you. So you got to ask yourself, why don't you want to respect a black man?
Because they don't respect themselves.
What? So
Okay, so before she gives an answer, he responds to her, right? Let me just pause it right there. Right? He asked her, why don't you respect black men, right? And she says, because they don't respect themselves. That's what she said. Hasty generalization. Making assumptions about a whole group or range of cases based upon a sample that is inadequate. So the question is, she says she sees all black men not respecting herself. Let's see where she gets the evidence of this from. Because remember, this is the black male image. This woman is talking about us to her friends, her peers, social media, etc. This is the image, gentlemen. Because I had the conversation a few podcasts back about who is responsible is to change the black male image. And that comes from having different values. That comes from having different standards. That comes from moving from surface level masculinity and moving into core level masculinity so that we can reach the higher mind of a spiritual level masculinity. But let me not get into that conversation. That might be too high for some of our brothers just right now. But let's get into the video.
But all the men you dated didn't respect themselves.
Well, I've dated 3 black men.
Oh,
It's just the way they carry themselves.
hold on. She's dated 3 black men. She says she's dated 3 black men. Family, 3. And based off the evidence of 3 black men, she's now in an informed position to come on a platform and speak about her experience about why she doesn't respect black men. Based off 3 men. Now, remember, for all the fam, big shout out to Royal Rising for remember exactly. The difference is in the last podcast I had a conversation. Did she pick males or did she pick men? Because I have to tell the truth to my sisters. As a man, yes, it was my job to go out there and, approach you, chat you up, have some lines, something, positive to say and encouraging to say to sweet you. But my intentions were clear. And I always was of the assumption that as a woman, you would know what a man's intentions are, which is to get into a sexual something with you. And then to see whether more can progress after that if you added value, right? But as a young man, that's a young man dealing with surface level masculinity. Do you see what I'm saying? We're running around, we're trying to, you know how it is as a young man. So the question is, ladies, you have the men come to you. So you have a choice as to who you pick to lay down with. Men sleep with who they can, women sleep with who they want. So if she's picking these men, these 3, 1, 2, 3, un, deux, trois, 3 men, she's now basing her whole paradigm or viewpoint on all black men based upon 3 black men. Where is she getting this from? Where is she getting this notion that she can mark and tar all men, black men in this case, based upon her experience of 3 men?
I said, bitch, who raised you?
Let's see.
What do you mean by that? In what way?
Let me take it back.
I'll give you an example where they carry themselves.
So she's about to explain where she's about to explain where black men don't respect themselves, and by a result of that, she doesn't respect black men, right? So let's see.
And what do you mean by that? In what way?
But I'll give you an example. One of them I've actually worked with. To white people, he gives off this attitude of, he wants to be all friendly. But then when it came to the black girls, he was rude. He had this attitude, and I was just, for me, it was just like, because I'm a black woman, and I just thought, why is he so nice to the white girls? Then to the black girls, he's got attitude.
So why did you date him then?
Okay, before Richie didn't even answer that one there, right? But he might go over it. But I'm gonna pause right there. She's made a distinction of a description of his behavior. Now, this is what I'm saying. That is, it's so deep for me to be able to tackle this, because the lack of empathy, understanding, and it's just okay. This is what yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. Okay, let me see what Richie says, and then I'm gonna give her an answer back. All right, let me see what Richie says, because that's crazy.
Well, I dated him because I thought.
Okay, they're gonna go into dating, but let me answer that bit then. They're gonna talk about dating. So she's given an example as to an anecdotal experience, right? That this black man at work, of her workplace, is nice to his Caucasian employee counterparts, and as a result, and then he's rude to them. But she never said why he was rude to them. She just said he was rude to them. So this guy's just like a Kevin Bateman. He's just nuts, running around the place, just being rude to black women for no reason, right? But okay, maybe those people, he's being nice to his boss, and it's supposed to be appropriate and friendly and sociable at work. That's what you're supposed to be, right? I didn't know you're supposed to be miserable and angry and upset with people at work to the point where people don't want to hang around with you, people don't like you. I don't think that's how it works. Stupid. Yeah, people ain't really gonna like you, like if that's how you're moving. But let's see.
High paid job. Maybe I can get out there someday. Oh, he was the.
Whoa! Hold up. So hold up. So let me take it back, all right?
I'm a black woman, and I just thought, why is he so nice to the white girls? Then to the black girls, he's got attitude.
So why did you date him then?
Well, I dated him because I. Maybe I.
She dated him.
Oh, he was.
So hold on. You see what I'm saying? So she said at the gate that black men are emasculated. She doesn't want to respect them. Then she says that they disrespect themselves because they were being nice to white people and not being nice to black girls. But she still dated him. I don't know, family. Do you know what I'm saying? Does this sound like Femi says she knew what type of man she got with? She should never have got with him. What? Well, Again, she's the one that's making the choices. So if we're going to say we as a people are trying to build and trying to grow, we've got to take responsibilities for our choices. And our relationship choices matter, because if we're trying to build a community, you cannot have a community without families. Show me the community of single people. It doesn't exist. She dated him. Yeah, that's look at that. I didn't even got to that part yet. So House of Bloom says, say what now? She dated him in an attempt of career progression to sleep her way to the top. There you go. Let me play it again so you can hear it.
That's what it was. Yeah.
High paid job. Maybe I can get out there someday. Well, he was the manager of the place.
You wanted to use him. That's what it was. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say use him, but I just
thought you wanted to. He was the manager of the job. You observed that he was nice to white people and to your fellow sisters he was mean, but you thought, I'm gonna date him regardless of that because he's the manager and I could get a leg up in the company.
No, yeah.
Oh my gosh, bruh. Yeah. Sisters, talk. Sisters, I'd love to hear what you think about this, man. Because on one hand, we're talking about, we're trying to build and we want women to be respected. But then sisters, you have women walking around like this. My son is going to grow up and try to, is going to have to pick from these type of women? Heck no. Heck no. What? She, like, what planet is she living on?
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
What planet is she living on? She has the nerve to sit there, insult the brother, insult all black men while she's trying to use her box to get up. Oh, and use a black man to get over her.
Y'all are trash.
This is what I'm saying, family. Crabs in a barrel. And it's not just the men, it's the sisters. And if we're talking about, we're trying to build, and both of you are going at each other like a cat, crabs in a barrel, we need better values. Men need to stand in your masculinity, and you need to step in your leadership, man. You need to step out of the surface level masculinity, and you need to step into a core level mindset. Because the time has come, the time is now. The system is changing, the reset is upon us. AI and robotics are gonna be out within the next year or two. GMO foods, lockdowns upon lockdowns, weather change, climate change. All these things affect the social construct of family. All these things affect economic production. So if we as a people are not thinking conducively of how we can work together, we're going to be left out in the wilderness. And what did Kevin say? Winter is coming. Winter is coming.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Now we either going to have to knuckle down and take accountability for our actions and start changing mindsets, or we better just pull up a popsicle and start licking a cone.
I woke up to go give me a cold pop.
That's what it is. Because, listen, some of the behaviors and the mindset that's rolling up on these streets, so you people got to stop it, man.
Stop it. Get some help.
Right? No, I'll play that one more time.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, let me go back in, man. Let me go back in because, come on, man. Sisters, how can we build it? The sisters, y'all need to stand up and check this behavior. Our sisters are in the right spirit. Black Mo TV family sisters, this movement and this pushing is going. Listen, I know the sister code is vilifying. I know the sister code is alienating. I know that. But if we do not set a better standard, these women are raising sons and daughters. These aren't even sisters. These women are raising sons and daughters. With this mindset of not respecting black men in general. Now, how is she going to raise that boy if she does have a son? And for any of the men that are gonna sleep with this woman, you ain't even vetted her out. You're just gonna just slide up your thing up in her, bruh. Nah, dog. Don't be doing that. So I'm saying you can't just be sliding your things in any single female because your urge dictates to you. You need to vet these chicks, bro. Why are you shooting up the club? As Rubo Zaman says, what run up in her guts? Why are you running up in her guts?
No, God!
Stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
Because I blame you brothers for this.
Because I don't blame the girls for the way that they act. Yeah. I blame you motherfuckers.
I blame you brothers for this because you brothers don't want to step and do the work to step into your leadership and into your masculine role. Brothers be talking about alpha. You know what? Let me leave it to the end. I'll come back to that. Let me play the video. Let's see what else, what other madness is going on here.
He actually asked me me out, I didn't even want him to begin with because I just thought.
Did you go out with him though?
He was a bit too old for me. I
you
did,
go
of course. Of course I did.
So, and the reason why you went out with him, even though you have all these reasons why you didn't like him, and you still went out with him because you wanted to use him because he was in a position of power.
Yes, I can't say that's, of course, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's one example. You're saying that he basically he was kissing white people's ass. That's what you're basically saying.
Basically, yeah.
All right. What about the other two black guys? Because there's only 3 of them that you dated so far. How old are you?
I'm 23.
23. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Go on. What's the other two? What are the
other? No. Let me pause right there. Now I know King Richez probably had to on the longer part of the interview had something more to say. But nah, come on, family. You are not gonna tell me that this girl just said she's 23 years old.
What did you say, nigga?
How's she gonna say she knows about all men, black men in this particular case that she's speaking about? She's dated 3 and she's only 23. Nah, somebody done messed up in here. No, somebody done messed up in here. You barely out of friggin' the training blocks. You barely out of training blocks. And you talking about old black men, the men of this, da-da-da-da-da.
NANI? お前はもう死んでいる。
What? What? Please. Nah. She did not just say she's 23 years old. Dated 3 black men and is able to come on a platform and then convince people that she knows what she's talking about. And then one of the black men she used sexually to try to get a leg up in her actual industry or in her company or whatever it was that she was doing what she was doing.
Oh my God!
What? Okay, yo, but we're gonna build, right? All right, cool. Let's play some more, man.
What 2 black guys like?
One of them I met in a.
So that was the first black guy.
All right, go on. What's the other 2? What are the other 2 black guys like?
One of them I met in a club, and obviously,
he was a party boy.
He was a party boy, and I just thought, maybe it will teach you how to be, because I'm quite introvert, and he was an extrovert, so I just thought maybe dating him will get me out of my shell, and he started putting me down.
Okay, before she gets into the victim Olympic sub story of how he's about to put her down, right? She just said she went to the club, right? She went to the club to she went to the club to get a dude, and
Gotcha, bitch.
She got one, right? She got one right in the club. And expected what type of relationship? I'm just like, come on, fam, seriously. At what point do we take accountability for our own actions and the things that we do, right? She went to the club to get a dude. He was a pretty boy. He was a F boy, as you would say. And then what does she do? She knows he is, right? She knows he is, but she still goes there anyway. Then she turns around and says, yeah, House of Blue says, you can find me in the club. Yeah, let's get that 50 Cent up in here, right? You can find me in the club. Sisters, come on. You can't be finding brothers in the club and expecting a brother in a club to take you seriously as a girlfriend. Yes, it does happen. Yes, it can happen. But exceptions to the rule do not make the rule. Generally speaking, when men, let's say some games, sisters. When men are going to the club, we're going to have fun, just like you. And if we engage in the feminine nature, the feminine side of the situation, we are trying to get sexual fun. Women must understand this first and foremost about men. Let's stop playing this game like say we don't know this happens. And this is what this woman is trying to come out here. She wanted to get this guy to get her out of her shell. The first guy, she wanted to use him so that he could elevate her within the company. You see the pattern here. But remember, she says she don't respect black men, right? She don't respect them, right?
Hi, I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, and I make mental health education videos. A delusion is a fixed false belief, and despite evidence that goes against what you believe, you still believe it.
Thank you, Tracy. Femi says she should have kept him as just a friends with benefits. If you're trying something new, well, that was an option. But let's see what she does. Let's play some of the video, guys. Let's hang in there. Let's hang in there. Big shout out to you guys. Big shout out to the Blackmail TV family. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys, when you come into the video. Share the video, guys. Share the video. The channel's not going to go any further when you don't share the videos. I really do appreciate your support. Yeah, let's play the video.
That couldn't have been, that recent. So he was young. You was young and he was young. More time, those kind of relationships don't work out anyway. You admitted he's a party boy. He's not a serious guy. Serious. That's it. What about the last black guy? What was he like?
The last one was my trainer.
Trainer, yeah.
What? Okay. Hold up. The first one was a manager. The second one she met in a club was a party boy. The third one she said was a physical trainer. Now, I ain't got no beef against physical trainers. But I'm laughing at this girl because, like, seriously now, come on, let's be serious now. Let's be serious now. She clowning.
Circus, Afro circus, Afro circus, Afro, polka dot, Afro.
Oh, look at House of Blues. House of Blooms is on it. She said, I'm done. Just bring on the Afro circus. There it is. There it is right there. There it is right there. There it is right there. It's done, man. She clowning. She is clowning. Like, fam, she's clowning.
Stop it. Get some help.
No, come on. She's saying she don't bear in mind, she started off this conversation, brothers and sisters, with she don't respect black men because they don't respect themselves and the emasculation, yada, 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 right? So she don't show no esteem for or a sense of worth or excellence for black men as people, as individuals. That's where she's coming from. But she's coming on here trying to play the victim Olympics with that victim mentality, as my sister said in the chat, right? Trying to play that psychological game. Do you see what I'm saying? And what does Tracy Marks say? That's dysfunctional. That's a delusional mindset. It seeks to feel persecuted in order to gain attention or avoid self-responsibility. And we already said it at the beginning. She's the common denominator. So if we're going to come with an LSG mindset, if we're going to try to change and elevate ourselves, if we're going to call our men and say to the men, we need to stand in their masculine spirit, then sisters, you need to stand in your feminine spirit and hold other sisters to account to this nonsense. These are your sons they're speaking about. These are your brothers they're speaking about. These are your friends they're speaking about. These are your fathers they're speaking about. We need our confidence encouraged as well. We need to be told we're doing a good job. We need to be told, keep going. We need to be inspired. Because if the men are not inspired, if your boys are not inspired, if your brothers, your fathers, your uncles, whatever, are not inspired, where is that protection? Where is that problem solving? Where is that provisioning? Where is the continued procreation and love that we must share within our community? We both have to give and take. But it comes from a place of good faith, not from a victimhood mentality, not from a lack of respect, and definitely not from a lack of apathy. I'm going to drop that one later. So let me read some of the comments. Wow, some of you guys been dropping some comments up in here. Yeah, big shout out to the ladies. Roy Rising says, so true. Men need to do some vetting too. That's how you're doing. Be up being a father before you're ready, and with a woman of below par thinking. Okay, let me just pull a pause right there. I want to expound on what Royal Rising said right there, guys. What I'm going to pull this up. Let me pull this up. I want you guys to see this tree. This is what I call, this is the masculinity tree, right? And on the masculinity tree, it's a guide to help you understand, gentlemen, where you're at, so you can understand where you need to work towards. As you can see at the root level, right at the base is the 4 P's of masculinity: provisioning, procreation, problem solving, up there, and protection. That is your root. That is your root foundation, what you are based on. And you must provide those 4 P's for yourself. Obviously, the procreation comes late at a much later time. But as a young man, you must be able to, if you're a good problem solver, then you're going to be able to provision for yourself. And when you provision for yourself, you must also find a way to protect the provisioning that you've created. So problem solving, provisioning, and protection are the 3 P's covered straight off the gate. But what are you provisioning and what are you protecting for except to procreate? So you must have a woman and to have children. But your journey doesn't just stop there. Your journey goes on to a level of surface level masculinity, where you must now be run on rules, morals, values, and standards. And you perfect those things through experience. You perfect those things through outcomes. And you progress and you move forward to another level that I call core level masculinity, where these values, dependability, accountability, truth, honesty, integrity, loyalty, family, and much more other things that I'll discuss at a later date, build your core essence of who you are. Some people like to call it that alpha male stuff, but I don't deal with the alpha male talk because I'm dealing with masculinity. Being an alpha is something innate with it. From the way I look at it, is something innate within men. But every man has the possibility to be masculine, whether he's an alpha, beta, whatever. So for her to sit there and say, I look at black men as emasculated, I'm a father. I'm here for my children. I raise my son as a single parent. I'm trying to teach and impart onto other brothers to elevate themselves and to have a better mindset, to be positive and not be disheartened at the behavior and mindset that they see from these women. To understand that by them elevating their mind and elevating themselves and moving themselves forward, that they will find the sisters of elevated mindset, elevated spirit, and femininity to match. But when I see videos like this, I have to call out the BS where I see it on both sides. It's not a hate against women. It's understanding that, hey, listen, as part of growth, as LSG, moving forward, the old ways have to die. We need to adopt new principles and new values. And sometimes we might have to go back to the old ways of moral values, dealing with the scriptures. But let's go back into the video.
Trainer, and there was just literally I felt like he was, he was a good looking guy, he was sweet and everything, but it was just he didn't have a sense, because I wanted to travel and do all these things, and I just felt like his ambitions were quite low for me.
Basically, he wasn't making enough money, he didn't have enough resources, and he didn't want to do the extracurricular activities that you wanted to do. Those 1, 2, 3 black men in comparison non-black, why is it you feel like you could respect the non-black guys?
Right, I've dated a Middle Eastern guy. They just have this sense of like masculinity. They'll open the door for you, they'll pay for the dinners, they'll treat you like a lady. They had this sense of confidence, they knew what they wanted, and they weren't.
Hold on, let me just pause right there, right? Isn't that chivalry? Isn't that chivalry that she's talking about? And there's a saying that modern women killed chivalry, right? Because they said they're independent, they don't need no man, they don't want no man. Did they? I forget how it goes. How did Shahrazad Ali say it again?
They didn't tell us that if you give up the man, you're going to take one of these things and it's worse and it will destroy your nation. They didn't give us that information. They made us think that it was some kind of glorified position to brag about the fact that I got my own job, my own credit card, and my own car, so I don't need no man. I don't even know how we got that mixed up. Ain't none of that got nothing to do with being with no man. You know, we talk about the great strength that we have as black women. Well, the welfare department don't rent government apartments to single black men. Those apartments.
So, what's she really talking about then here? Really? She's the common denominator. They don't open. She's talking about other races opening the door for her, treating her like a lady. But hypergamy in the dating market has gone crazy. So which is it? You can't be traditional and be modern and say you want traditional things but still modern when you want. That's not how it works. But let's see.
Tried to say, because with the black guys, it was always about physical and sex, and it was just, except the one, the manager guy, but the other two was more about sex and physical attraction and things like that. But these guys, they you know, they knew what they wanted, they knew where they were heading, and I just feel like, why can't black men be like that?
I always find it weird that black women like you don't seem to understand that we are playing a different game, and comparing black men in a non-black country is totally unfair. It's ironic that when it's black women being disenfranchised, black women seem to understand the dynamics very well. But when it's time to maybe be able to understand where black men are coming from, it seems to just escape you lot's understanding. It's like, why can't you be like non-black men? Why can't you be like white men? Why can't you be like Middle Eastern men? Because we're playing a different game.
And I want to pause it right there, right? Sorry about the background, guys. I'll just move my pen, and I got the fan playing in the background because it is hot in here. So he talks about a different game, right? He talks about. Hold on, let me say. Let me read the comments first before I give my on the last thing that he said. Femi says, "My kids love Afro Circus. You know I play it for you, ladies. You know what I'm saying? You know I play it for you, ladies." House of Bloom says, so her manager, man in the club, and her personal trader have led her to the conclusion that she doesn't respect black men. Excuse me. Oh, sorry, that's the Red Bull. I'm not sure if she's saying that that's what's happened. I'm not sure. I'm quite sure she's trying to say that. Well, she might be saying that. Thus generalizing and tarring all black men with the same brush. Wow. Yeah, that's literally where she's at with her conversation. That's literally where she's at with the conversation. Femi says, personal trainer. She knows she wasn't the only one he was stretching out, right? Oh, that's funny. Naughty Femi. What is going on? What's going on? Well, no, she wasn't, because somebody else at the gym must have been, doing some other stretches and some other exercises behind the scene, But what does she expect? He's a young guy, they're young age. Femi got me joking. Femi's got me cracking. All right, cool. Let's play it, right? So, all right, so let me drop this now. So he's saying that, he's coming from the perspective that black men are playing a different game and a different outcome. And to a certain degree, I do agree with him. Now, obviously, I understand that you guys on the platform all know this. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're all of the same mindset and all the same group. But we have to understand what's out there. And a lot of times, this is what we're facing as black men. We're facing apathy, a lack of feeling or emotion or interest or concern about us. I went on the Black Lives Matter website and it said, therefore, Black Lives Matter, right? But black men weren't on the list of black people or individuals or of the category on their list. How's that going to make a man feel, a boy feel, a child feel whatever, when they're not being included in the black family, knowing that the black family, they're the progenitors of the black family. So when I hear a woman speak like this, what I hear is apathy, a lack of feeling of emotional interest or concern about something. I don't respect black men because I don't want to. Why would we want to build with them now that we're free? So our sisters need. I want all the Black Mo TV family to understand that when we talk about this as a family of choice, there's a family of choice for a reason, because the people out there do not want you to build. They're your own people. So big shout out to Kevin Samuels and the Manosphere for them trying to help in the conversation and the relationships. But it's just revealed to me that all this is BS that we're talking. All that Pan-Africanist stuff they talk on the YouTube, that's BS. All that Israelite stuff they talk on the YouTube, that's BS. All that let's vote and come together, that's BS. Because at the fundamental level of men and women, there is a separation that is tearing us apart. Damn! And if we do not recover from that, if we do not have different morals, different values, a different way of doing things, then brothers and sisters, we are not going to survive what is coming. People talking about we kings and we queens. Y'all delusional, man.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, and I make mental health education videos. A delusion is a fixed false belief. And despite evidence that goes against what you believe, you still believe it.
But before it's too late, please, people, let's start where we can with one-to-one with ourselves. I'm having this conversation right now because I want to bring it to light to understand this. The reason why we're not building is because we are at polar opposites to each other. Modern women are being taught and are being walking in the spirit of, I don't need no man, so I don't need to build with no man, so therefore I don't respect, etc., etc. These women are thinking like this. We can't build with them. We can't build with them. Then they're raising men who are effeminate, who don't want to build, who are surface level men, who don't know how to network with other brothers, who don't know how to control their emotions, who end up being overzealous and then over violent, end up being in jail, who date and breed around with other women and don't marry them up or don't provide for them. The cycle continues. The cycle continues.
I said, bitch, who raised you?
And then we want to sit around and have the Victim Olympics talking about who hurt you. But where's our dignity, man? Where's our dignity, man? But we kings and queens, right? Working together is like kryptonite to our people. Kryptonite. Now, imagine this woman raises a child, and my son grows up to now meet her daughter. What is she raising her daughter to think? What is she raising her sons to think? That's her own goal. And we're looking at Caucasian people and saying, Caucasian people, oh, the white man. Nah, bruh. Willie Lynch letter. That's what you call an own goal.
Oh, God.
Right in the kisser. All right, let me get the comments and then we'll get back into the video real quick. Ooh, you lot dropped. Okay, so Femi says, oh no, I read that already about stretching out. Raw Rising says, well, she is correct about the black male rapper figures that are put before us as entertainers with names like Little Baby. Oh my gosh. I'm going to do a show on that. You guys want me to do a show on that? These rappers' names, the little, what is it? Little Baby, Little Baba, I Wet My Diaper. I don't know. I don't know their names. Let me know their names. You know, one like, I got a dummy in my mouth.
You assuming I'm a human, what I gotta do to get it through to you? I'm superhuman, innovative, and I made a rubber so that anything you say is ricocheting off of me.
Was that what am I getting the names wrong? This is what I'm saying. Little Bobby, All right, let me go back in the comments. She says they definitely do not carry themselves well. It's not even about carrying themselves well, sis. Those are what you would call, again, surface level men, which are hood, low level ghetto. You do not class men who, no offense to those who come from the hood, no offense to those who come from the ghetto, but there is a mindset that comes with being of that level. There are people who are born in the ghetto who don't have that mindset, who works and strive to better themselves, to have better etiquette, to have better behavior, to have better thought patterns, to have better outcomes. That takes you out of a ghetto mentality. That's why we call it middle class or upper middle class. This is a social structure that's been removed from the black community. And we think that having financial money puts you in a social class, but it doesn't. House of Bloom says, this caller sounds socially awkward and clearly has no understanding of the dynamics black men face within society. Clearly she doesn't. She has complete lack of empathy. You know, it's totally ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. Kings and kings of what kingdom? Well, that's a very good question. Over what kingdom, over what lands? Well, you know, we talk about Africa, right? I know not all the manosphere talk about it, but except for O'Shea Duke Jackson, big shout out to him. But yeah, we talking about land and we talking about, you know, taking back reparations and laws and this, that, and the other. But realistically speaking, we're not in our land to be able to do these things. But we keep trying to hang on to things that don't belong to us. So yeah, that's a conversation for another day. But let's get the end of this video.
Okay, but the thing is, the women.
No. It's not just okay and we're moving on. You need to understand this thing. Because I'm a black guy. You've never been a black guy in your life. And as I said, women in general tend to live life on easy mode. Even the ones that are just average at best.
Actually, I'm against that. Because...
Listen, stop interrupting, bro.
Okay.
Most of the time, women are given lies. You lot don't have to tackle the truth very often. Us black boys, we're told ugly truths all the time. We're disenfranchised. We're the most hated. And the reason why we're suppressed more than black women are in terms of education and employment is because the establishment understands that it's the men who are the threat, not the women. If black men around the world were the most educated, the most career-minded, the most enrolled in STEM degrees, was the most entrepreneurial, was just the most ambitious, it would totally destabilize the whole system in the world.
I want to stop it right there, right? I want to stop it right there. I hope you guys heard that, right? I hope you guys heard that, because that was a bomb. He dropped a bomb right there. Because, and this is where we say that, oh, this is why I understand where the black manosphere is coming from, saying that black women have left the table. Because this is not only just in America, but this is over here this is in the West in general. It's a doctrine, it's a mindset to remove the black woman from understanding. Where's Shahrazad Ali, man? Shahrazad Ali said it best. Because by removing the empathy, by making black women think that you're a separate people from black men, they're able to produce this ideology. By a gynocratic feminist ideology, they're able to push this forward to make you think that there is a division between us, that there is an argument between us, that you have no respect for men. and then in turn raise men who are then effeminate. So the very men that you're despising, you're raising them. And that's why I look at you gentlemen and say, listen, this has got to the point where it's so far, you can't look to the women to change. You have to change. You are the man. Women look for love. So that means love comes from you. Love animates. Animates. Look at me. I'm gonna give myself a slap. I can't even speak properly. Love emanates from you. That's something I've had to learn. That's something I'm still growing in and I'm still developing. Even at the level I'm with my masculinity, because there's a spiritual level that we all must attain to. This sister is damaged. She's broken. She has no direction. She has no sense. She doesn't understand men. She doesn't even know what men are useful for.
They like to keep black men suppressed, and that is actually why they like to incentivize black women to excel.
Exactly.
Because what happens is they create women like you who say things like, I don't feel like I can respect black men. And because you can never respect a black man, you can never submit to a black man. And therefore, you will never have a functional, healthy relationship with a black man because you don't respect him.
Flawless victory.
I have to give it to him, boy. I have to give it to him. I have to give it to him. He floored her. This is one of these moments.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh yeah!
Serious.
That guy that we were talking about who, you know, in the office, he's kissing white people's ass. He's probably had to do that to get to the position he's in. Now you're looking at him, judging him that, oh, why is he nice to white people, blah, blah, blah.
I'm not the manager.
Listen.
I stand for...
Listen. I'm not excusing his behavior, but I'm trying to make you understand. There's a reason for everything. You shouldn't just judge things just on face value. There's something behind it. And for the fact that he still wanted to date you, because remember, you're a black woman, what does that tell you?
He actually started showing interest when I was getting attention from the white guys.
Oh, gosh.
Which I find it weird. Before he didn't even look at my
not
way.
lack of good faith. So what? So what?
The minute
he doesn't represent the whole world, so that's that. There's good and bad everywhere. So that is irrelevant. You dated 3 guys. You're 23 and you dated 3 guys. You don't really have enough life experience to really judge black men and say you don't respect them. And one of those guys you met in the club. The other guy was your personal trainer. And then you're upset that he's a personal trainer and he's happy being a personal trainer. That's on you. You didn't.
It's not just me. It's not just me. I feel like a lot of black women, white women, majority women in the world don't respect black men.
A lot of women make poor choices in men.
I want to put that out there, ladies. I want you to respond in the chat for everybody that comes across this video. Do you agree with what this sister says? Do you agree with what this sister says about not respecting black men? Leave your comments in the chat. Leave your comments down below. Whether you watch the video now, whether you watch it afterwards. I'm interested to know.
Couple up with anyway. So you're not really in a position to say you respect and you don't respect, because you don't even respect yourself when you let crap guys sleep with you. That's the truth. It's not like you found a black doctor today or a black solicitor. No, you picked to date a personal trainer. Your own personal trainer at that. It's unfair for women who live life on easy mode to compare black men to non-black men in terms of being successful, why they perfect boyfriends, husbands, etc., etc. the same societal forces. Now, I'm not saying black men.
Now, I have to agree with him again. Like I'm saying, not saying that there's not black men out there that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's without a doubt. That's in every society, in every culture. But I do have to agree with him on the fact that she didn't pick any suitable men or suitable candidates. Number one. Number two, she's young. So for her to now be of that mindset at such a young age, and then to be saying, oh, well, all women are saying this. Why is she able to say that? Again, gentlemen, our ethnic image, our group ethnic image. These women are putting out this group ethnic image of us, and it's incorrect. Sisters, you're hearing this being put out on the social media platforms. You're hearing the sisters talk about this in the shade rooms and in the social media Facebook groups. But these are lies. You're being sold lies. Why? To make you have apathy, to lack of feeling, emotion, or interest or concern about your own people, your own brother, your own father, your own son, husband. Because they understand that the men are the threat when it comes to the establishment. And if men do not have their women beside them to build, what are we building communities for if the women are doing their own thing, want to be independent? What are the men trying to build? New values, new mindset, man.
I said, bitch, who raised you?
New values, new principles, new discipline, man. And for some people, it's going to sound like a kick in the teeth. But you're going to have to swallow that pill because the world is looking at us right now like we ain't ish, man. We talking like we kings and queens. We talking like we doing this, we doing that. We got businesses left, right, and center. Listen, the reset is here. The next 2 years is going to be a madness. It's about to kick off in the fall, autumn. It's about to kick off. And if we do not get different values, different mindsets, and put ourselves on a different wavelength, we are going to get swallowed up. Gentlemen, you must step out of that surface level masculinity and grow into a core level masculinity. You need to. Stop having the conversations about whataboutism. Listen, we can't be talking about no Pan-Africanism, coming together, going over to Africa, buying land in America, reparations, whatever it is that we're trying to do. We can't even do those things if at the very fundamental level, brothers and sisters, we are having relationship problems, which inevitably means we're not going to have a community to give those reparations and benefits for that we're fighting for. House of Bloom says, the true deception is the delusion that black men and women are separate from one another. That right there. Right there. She gets a Tracy Marks for that.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, and I make mental health education videos. A delusion is a fixed false belief. And despite evidence that goes against what you believe, you still believe it.
She still believes it. The three men she's dated means that all black men don't have respect for themselves. All black men are emasculated. She doesn't want to have respect for black men based off her 3 experiences at 23 years old. You couldn't make this up. And then she's trying to argue the point that all black women and all women of other races also see this. So ladies, I want your opinion. Leave it in the chat. How are we going to be building if this is the mindset people are coming from? Let me play the video. Let's finish it out.
Exempt from blame, I would never say that. Yeah, but at the same time, you need to understand that it's not an even playing field. It's not. When you said that I don't respect black men, that's a very dangerous thing to say. Really, truly, the reason why a lot of black men feel like this is because of money. Let's keep it real. But don't think I'm here defending bad behavior or being weak. I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think black women need to at least empathize with black guys.
So that's the video, family. I'm gonna stop it right there. I've left the original link down below for the short version. Again, it was a 2-hour video, so I wasn't gonna go into and do the 2-hour video section. But I'm gonna read the chats in a second. So, ladies, leave your comments in the chat. I would like to know. First and foremost, she said that all women disrespect and don't have no respect for black men. Do you share that same thought? Do you share that same perspective, viewpoint, opinion? And if so, why? Again, a question to the viewers: Do you think that black men have had the same life experience and chances as the other nations? Why she's able to make that comparison? Is that a fair comparison for her to make? Let me rephrase that in a different way. Is it fair for her to compare black men and other races of men in terms of financial progress? Is it fair for her to say that, right? Considering the history. Now, of course, for her to say that, I would have to agree with Royal Rising, where she says, I guess the modern woman has no depth of thought, because, and this goes to my argument about the patriarchy. When I hear women, in particular black women, speaking about the patriarchy, it's very laughable in their argument, because what patriarchy are they speaking of? We've been under a European rulership for the last 500 years. So whatever patriarchy they're speaking of is of a European nature, not of an African nature. And if they want to speak about an African patriarchy, then they're going to have to go back 500 years. And there's nobody alive for them to speak about that. It's in history books. If they want to look at currently what's going on in Africa, then they have to accept that there's been infiltration of religion, both Christian and Muslim and Jewish, mixed in, as well as traditional tribal cultures. So all these influences have now changed and diluted what the original patriarchy was in terms of the black sense. So the argument for me is very silly, because at what point were black men in the patriarchy or power to put in place positions to control women? Now, if you want to speak about Europeans, then by all means do that, because they were definitely empowered to do that. So you don't have no argument for me there. But in terms of black men, that doesn't carry weight. I know history. You can't fool me with that. And this woman, excuse me, this female, because she's not a woman and she's neither a sister, does not know her history at 23 years old. Why? Because she wasn't taught by her parents? Does she come from a single parent household? We don't know. She said she's black. But at 23 years old, in her 3 experiences of black men, she's able to say with a brush, all black men are trash. All black men are trash, right? And at the same time, she's the one picking the men that she's laying down with, and one was a party boy, the other was a personal trainer, the third one she used to try to get her leg up in the gym, in her workplace, and she's telling us that the men are trash.
Y'all are trash.
He's trash.
Damn!
These are not the women that you should be trying to bed down with. You should not be trying to slide your things in there. These type of females are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Nah.
No, God!
All right? So, guys, stop sliding your things up in these random chicks and pay more attention. And if you are going to do that, because I can't stop you, you're free to do whatever you want. Please, by all means, use protection. Do not be running up in no girl's guts. Your seed is your crown jewel. Do not just frivolously waste it away and implant it in the chick that don't deserve it.
Stop it. Get some help.
Stop it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to call the hard man.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Stop it. Get some help. Get some help. Because how can we say we're trying to build and we're having these issues right down at the fundamental level? It's ridiculous.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Because at this point now, we don't need no oppressor to keep us in chains. They're sitting there laughing.
Gotcha, bitch.
Laughing at us. Because our men are wondering what's going on with our women. And we got these type of women going on like this.
Motherfucker.
That's how they're looking at it. That's how they're looking at it from what this woman's experience would be. So I just want to say to my sisters, listen, nah, you listen, for those that don't think like this and don't move like this, you need to represent and you need to speak up. If you're about building, you're about different values and want to be better and come out of that negative victimhood mentality, because that's not getting us nowhere. For the men that want to be masculine, I'm not talking about this foolish alpha beta male stuff that's going on in the manosphere. And I'm going to touch on this high value man thing that Kevin Samuels is speaking about, because very soon the average men are going to be the high value men. Listen, if you don't think I'm joking, very soon the average men are going to be the high value men because of what's coming around the corner.
And
something is coming around the corner starting this end of this year, beginning of this fall. And if we as a people, men and women included, do not have the right morals, values, and principles in place, we are going to be swept under the rug. We're going to be swept under the rug. So be wary, be mindful.
NANI?
Be mindful. Let me read some of these comments. Where are we? House of Bloom says, I genuinely believe as women we are given so many distractions and have been targeted via the media and consumerism. Our thought patterns are skewed. I would definitely agree with that as well, because back in the day we were more closer together as a family during the 50s and pre-slavery, Jim Crow, all the rest of it. And they had to break down the family. So in order to do that, they had to remove the woman remove the man out of the home. So they've now devised birth control, the financial system, the benefit system, the welfare system, all those other things that they've put in place, the services, etc., to move the men out of the way. They've succeeded in that. And what they've done, as you see in the diagram right here, Big Daddy over here using the media to both pump things to men to make them think and work and make them become literal slave factory workers, just churning out things, breeding up these women who in turn are making more children, who in turn, as you can see in the picture, are causing more burden on society. And all in turn, the money is being siphoned and taken out and given right back to the system. So when we say we're not building, there's a reason why we're not building, because our money is not staying within our community. It goes right back to the same thing. When we talk about these lavish lifestyles that these women say they want to live, these men are working to pay, to give to these women to afford them this lavish lifestyle, which goes right back to the people who are pumping the media and measure to you to spend the money on that lavish lifestyle, which in turn takes the money again out of your community. So at this point, it's the choices that we make at this point. So, which turns again leads into what? The consumerism. And our thought patterns are skewed because we look at materialism and we rate that as social class rather than actual education, rather than actual behavior, moral standards, principles, and etiquette, duty, accountability, dependability, integrity. We don't hold these things as a higher value. Rather, we hold ratchetness, WAP, and the likes as. Let me not go on. Royal Rising says, no way, I respect black men. Big shout out to Royal Risings on that. I need to get a sound. I need to get like a celebration horn, like or something like that. Big shout out to my sister, man. She says she respects black men. That's the kind of sisters we have on our platform. Love my sister on that. She says, I agree with King Richez. Black men are in a different game. I don't see other races of rappers called Little Baby being shoved in front of the world. Exactly. I don't see Little Nas X in other nations being dropped on the top of the world. Miss Rebel Jewel. Hey, big shout out to my sis. She made it. Big Miss Rebel Jewel. She says, I am trying to formulate my thoughts without getting buried. We appreciate you, sis. We know it's still working hours over there in the States. Thanks for joining the podcast. Oh, sorry. In the UK, sorry, in the UK. So I'm always talking about the States. I'm always assuming people are like in the States when I'm doing this late at night. Yes, sorry, Miss Rebel Jewel. She says, I do believe black men are treated unfairly. I think men in general need to do better. Black men don't do worse than any other race in terms of how they treat women. Black men don't do any worse than any other race in terms of how they treat women. Okay. Yes, expand on that a little bit more. I'm not quite sure how we go on that, but you probably have more to it than that. So let me keep going. Raw Rising says, I agree with House of Blooms. We are both black men and women being distracted with nonsense, but more so to the black woman with consumerism and Housewives series. Yeah, Atlanta Housewives, definitely. Definitely. And you know, these shows, this is the thing, they project these shows which give a false sense of lifestyle, social media with Instagram, and then it gives these, especially these young women, a false sense of what life is like and what money is like and what you're supposed to be doing with money or wealth. And again, which leads to the consumerism, which leads to the money being spent out of our system, out of our community, and we're not able to put it back to build the things that we actually need in our own community. Miss Rebel Jules says, but black people's businesses are always out there. Yes, they are. And that's why we try to support and try to say, listen, you know, we need to support each other and put each other out there. But if we're not putting each other out there, supporting each other genuinely, then again, it's not going to work. If you have women of this mindset of the video that's just spoken here, who's coming out with a straight disrespect, I'll have a business with my wife. If she's saying she doesn't respect black men, when she hears me speaking, she's not going to want to hear anything I have to say. And she's not the only one. There are a lot of women that think like that. But I'm talking sense. I'm talking something that's conducive to our community. But she openly says she doesn't want to respect black men. So how can we build with that person? We can't. She's coming in bad faith. So there's nothing to build there because the disrespect is going to come off the gate straight. That's something to do with her and her damagedness. House of Bloom says, our ethnic image is the one that's always put out in comparison to the other nations. Exactly. And it's the ethnic image that keeps perpetuating every time I'm hearing the social platforms. We need to change that narrative. And in order to change that narrative, we must adopt different value systems. House of Bloom says, it always comes down to choices. Indeed. Miss Rebel Do says, women need to take responsibility for who they date. I couldn't agree more, sister. They have to take accountability for who they date. There are way too many female platforms, female information that tells women what type of bad men are out there. So women should be more than informed at a very young age as to what type of men they should not be engaging with. So they can't now at this point keep saying men are hoodwinking them. How? Either you are not applying the information that the sisters are telling you, or the information the sisters are giving you are not working. It has to be one or the other. It can't be the men no more. Because the men, they're over here doing the work. I'm putting up leadership and masculine principles that men need to be dealing with. Sisters, you want the men to develop, share the videos so that they can see it. Miss Rebel Jules says she was watching a live the other day, and this man came from Egypt and said to the lady, I want to F you, I'm assuming. Why are men comfortable talking to women like this? Sis, I would have to know what the context was. What did she look like? What was the environment? Yeah, because there's just not enough information in that for me to be able to understand the conversation and why the conversation would take place like that. Houseman says these reality housewife shows are purely propaganda. They are scripted. Is that extradited? Edited and nicely packaged as real life. So yeah, of course, guys, we have to understand this as well. But and I see a lot of women on the social media, especially in the United States, speak, and their responses sound straight out of movies, straight sound bites. And that's what makes me laugh, because I have watched these movies. I have seen. I'm old enough. You know what I'm saying? And I remember the words. So when they speak it, I'm like, hold on a second. That was out of a movie. What's really going on here? Or out of a TV reality show. And then they're using the reality shows in movies, and they're trying to say that's real life. Or trying to force a man to provide those things that are unrealistic expectations, especially for the ages in which these women are at. You know, or the young men are at that they're choosing. You can't expect a 23-year-old man to have that sort of wealth unless he's a certain type of athlete or rapper, in which case you're sticking yourself to one demographic or pool of men. So that is not all men. Again, bringing you back down to the circle again. Miss Rebel Jewel says, a lot of men seem to lack respect for women. I am not saying it is the majority, but you know that the bad always overlooks the good. Okay. Yes, a lot of men seem to lack respect for women, and a lot of women seem to lack respect for men. So let's see what respect is. Respect. Esteem for or a sense of worth or excellence of a person. Now, from what I've seen of black men, speaking about my community predominantly, there is a lot of love for black women. Whenever I see an award happening or someone getting an award, they always promote their mother. They always give her props. Whenever I hear brothers speak generally, they'll fight for when a man cusses their mother out. Don't talk about my mom this way, blah, blah, blah. I see brothers who fight for their sister, etc., etc. So this is what I've come from where I'm seeing this. So when I see this, no respect, a lot of times I'm seeing women coming out with this no respect, because if a woman's coming off as this woman did in the video we just watched, where she's saying, I don't want to respect black men, that's got nothing to do with black men respecting her. Respect is earned. But she's coming straight off the gate saying, I don't have esteem for or a sense of worth of black men as a person, straight out the gate. Now, I'm not excusing those men that have that way or think that way, but that's not the majority of men. So if we keep going after the minority of men and not praising the majority of men, we are dealing with victimhood Olympics. And the victim mentality is a psychological term that refers to a type of dysfunctional mindset. A dysfunctional mindset is not conducive, because then what we're doing is doing the whataboutism, blame game. Whataboutism is a tactic to dismiss a position by bringing up an unrelated topic as if it negates the first position. Yes, some men do disrespect women, but that doesn't negate the fact that this woman in this video is coming straight out of the gate saying, I don't respect men, period. Black men in particular. And then she is corroborating her thought pattern by saying other women think this way, so it's acceptable. So that's why I asked the question to you ladies. Because if a few men are doing certain things, should all men, black men, is that what we should do to black women? Should we hold black women to all the standards of this ratchet, low-level WAP exposing women? Is that what we should do? Roll Rising says there are more women than men, so power is in who you choose. That's facts. There are more women than men. Leave those women that are polarized mindset at the door. And that's what I'm saying, gentlemen. Hey, you got another sister saying it. I know it's hard. I know the booty looks good, right? I know she's sitting there, she's clapping those cheeks in the club, and you're like, oh, I know. But you've got to have more dick discipline. You've got to have more dick discipline. I know brothers being there, when they hear this podcast, they'll be like,
what did you say, nigga?
I said you. That's right. I said you got to have more discipline. They be looking at me like,
ain't nobody got time for that.
That's not, listen. You've got to do it.
I don't blame the girls for the way that they act. I blame you, motherfuckers.
That's what I'm saying. I blame you, brothers, because you chasing after these broads that have no respect for you. No respect for you. Why? Because you don't want to hold yourself to a higher standard. Moral standards, principles, LSG, love plus support equals growth. Love is a mindset and a principle. It's not an emotional feeling. Truth, honor, integrity, accountability, dependability, group economic mindset, interdependent thinking, networking. But brothers want to run around acting stupid.
Y'all niggas are stupid, bro. Like,
that's what brothers want to do. Chased around after the tail because, hey.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
That's what brothers want to do. Ice skate uphill. Miss Rebel Jules says, you are right, because where I was watching it was an environment that would pull out those types of men. You are right, because where I was watching it was an environment that would pull out those types of men. Exactly. And the point that I'm trying to make, sisters, is that when we make the statement and say black men in general, we're insulting the men that are actually doing the work. We're insulting your brothers. You're insulting your sons. You're insulting your cousins. And if you don't know any men that are doing the work, then sisters, you're in the wrong pool. You're in the wrong pool. And that means you need to change the pond that you're in. I left a tag on my Instagram. If you want to follow on the Instagram, it's at Blackmail TV, saying that we need to shed the negative people out from our lives. That includes men and women. Gentlemen, you need to face up to the fact that some of our mothers did not raise us right. They raised us effeminate. And unless they are willing to have that conversation where you can openly address it, forgive her, and move forward, you will continuously be battling that battle of that effeminate mindset. So we'll touch on that, deeper in the Patreon and stuff like that. So let me go on here. So to finish off, Rebel Jewel, yes, the type of men that women pick, you have to take accountability for the type of men you pick. There are a variety of men out there, and there's more than enough information by other sisters to warn you about the type of men out there. So making the repeated wrong choices anymore, you can't say that's men's fault, because you have the information from sisters who have lived before you, who are living now, and social media is accessible by your phone. So find different men and go fish in a different pond. Gentlemen, stay away from them types of females, because they will only bring you down. They're of the gynocracy and that mindset. It's not going to work for you. Raw Rising says, that's the point of TV. It stays in your subconscious mind. That's why the need for scripts and edits. Also, why you hear people recite what they have watched, all apart from brainwashing, all a part of the brainwashing propaganda. Exactly. And if you don't believe me, go back and read Nazi Germany. Is it Goebbels or whatever his name is? I think he was the propaganda guy for the Third Reich. Guy did a brilliant job brainwashing people. That's what they're doing in the US. They took his tactics. America took his tactics from Nazi Germany, and they put that into show business. Or rather, he took that from Hollywood, did it to the Germans and the Jewish people, and then it came back to the American United States. So, yeah. Miss Rebel Jewel says, she said she don't want to respect black men. Yeah, that's what she said. She said she doesn't want to respect black men. That's what she said in the video. She says she doesn't want to respect black men, right? And the reason why she doesn't respect black men is based on the 3 black men that she's dated in her 23 years of her life. One of them was a guy that she used to try to get a leg up at work. It didn't work. The second was her manager. The second guy was her a party boy she met at a club. Why she would think she would go into a long-term relationship of meaningful significance with somebody she met at a club, I don't know, but okay. Because she should know that doesn't really work. But then she went out with her personal trainer. and then was upset that he wasn't more ambitious and that he was happy being a personal trainer. Again, he was a young man. So her expectations of what she wants in a relationship are very unrealistic for the men that she's choosing to date. But yet, on the other hand, she's choosing to blame black men and say that black men on a whole are emasculated, and she doesn't have respect for black men as a whole because of the 3 black men that she actually had interactions with, even though none of her interactions were in good faith. As Kevin Samuels would say, for that one, so, you know, yeah, that's what she said. Our minds are biased. Yes, our minds are biased. I'm assuming that's our minds are biased to the consumerism thing. Because yeah, when they lie, women buy. That's what happens. So they're keeping you buying, but you're not buying in the community. There's lots of black businesses, but we're having to force each other to buy each other's products. Why? Because we're not buying each other's products. We're buying it outside of the community. He wasn't a black man that said that. I'm assuming you're talking about the Egyptian guy, so you'd have to give me more information on that one, sis. Miss Rebel Jules says, is it fair to expect women to teach men how to be masculine? Is it fair to expect women to teach men how to be masculine? No, women shouldn't and can't, in my opinion, teach men how to be masculine. I wouldn't expect it, nor would I expect it. Shouldn't that be on the fathers? Yes, I would. That is not shouldn't, that is on the fathers. And that's why I'm always an advocate of saying that fathers need to be in the household. Fathers need to be in the community. And the women need to allow fathers, because here's the problem. We have a community where we think that just because a man gave sperm to a child, that means that's the father. We've belittled men to such a level, and the title of father, husband, to such a degree that we don't understand what the values these things produce. And let me put up the sign again. Let me put up the principles again. Let me put up the tree again. So I'm going to put up this tree for my sister real quick, right? A father brings the 4 P's, right? Now, for me, I come from a spiritual background, and I understand that all things come from a spiritual place. So we form first spiritually, but at the root cause of a man, of a father, is what? The 4 P's: provision, protection, problem solving. These things are innate in a man. And as a man builds himself, he gains the level of surface level masculinity. I spoke over it later on, sis, so I'd love for you to go back over the video and watch it again, but I'll give you briefly here. Surface level masculinity is what you see a lot of men portraying right now. Those are men still in their feminine spirit. Those are men still in their, emotional spirit. They're not ruled by principles, values, and morals to a certain level. They're not fully disciplined. That's what I call surface level masculinity. Running around trying to, sleep with left, right, and not just sleeping left, right, and center, because that's natural to all men, but leaving seed in every other woman left, right, and center. Not taking accountability for those things. Those are surface level masculine men. Those are not the men women should be picking as long-term partners, people to breed with. Fathers are needed because fathers teach men, again, going to the core level now, moving from a surface level, which would be adolescent type behavior, mindset, to a core level masculine level, which would be moving a man to truth, honor, integrity, accountability, dependability, responsibility, duty, honor. I said that already, right? Loyalty. Mixed in with the four P's I mentioned earlier. Protection, problem solving, provisioning, procreation. Once he masters all those things, including the attributes, morals, and principles that are a guiding line for him to protect and provide for himself and his community, then he moves into the spiritual level of mindset, which I'll deal with on the Patreon. So fathers are very much needed. The reason why I said mothers raise their boys feminine is because A, you don't know how to do anything else, and B, you remove the fathers from the household. You picked men that you did not continue on a long-term relationship with. That's your choice. Because there are different forms of birth control for women. There's only one for men. Condoms, or 3 for men. Condoms pull out or don't have sex with the girl. But there's more than 3 for women. So if any baby's being born, that's a choice that women made to bring a child into this world because you have full reproductive rights. We can't force you to have a baby or not have a baby. So once the baby's here, if you did not pick a man that was conducive of core masculine level principles that would stay with you and raise that child to impart his masculinity into that child, or if you were of a masculine nature yourself as a woman and drove away your man, now there's no man there. And instead what you're giving, and what I've seen a lot of women doing, is giving false level masculinity, surface level masculinity to their sons. In which case, now the women are saying the men are too effeminate because they had no fathers around to teach them core masculine principles. And that takes discipline, order, structure, authority, respect. So if you have sisters like this woman on the video, who's coming from a place of not having no respect, where do you think she learned that from? What do you think she's going to teach her children? But do we know how to do anything else? The point is not do you know how to do anything else? The point is now you know that what you've been doing is not conducive and not giving us the desired outcome. Are you willing to change it for the desired outcome? We're about solutions on this platform. I told you the blame game don't work over here. We take accountability and move forward because love plus support equals growth. Blame don't bring growth. Accountability does, though. No, sis, I appreciate you asking. Ask away, man. I'll answer with love. I'll answer with passion, but I'll answer with truth. And I'll keep it straight, even though YouTube will flag me. So, guys, like the video. Like the video. Because YouTube will flag me, man. House of Bloom says, fathers most definitely teach young boys masculinity and guide them into manhood. In the absence of fathers, there must be a recognizable positive male role model and figure. I agree entirely. Excuse me. In their lives. So again, yes, there you go. House of Blooms. There must be that, and I'm not talking about rap. I'm not talking about rap music. I'm not talking about, excuse me, that sounded horrible. That was in my throat. I'm not talking about rappers, TV, plonking your child in front of the TV. No. They need proper principles, proper guidance. They need to exercise things. They need to go through a rites of passage. It's not every time you sit down and cuddle the child and no. There's an old saying that says you leave a child with the mother between 1 to 8. From the time of 8, you give the child over to the father. But even now, there's statistics that show that single parent father households are producing more stable children than single mother households. And that's stats. That's not me. Royal Rising says, yes, when mothers take their sons away from seeing their father, that son will grow up feminine as there is no father around. The son will grow up feminine because he's adopting a false level of masculinity. He's seeing the mother's reaction, her anger, her emotions, her how she's dealing with things, and he's learning that, and then he's behaving that way. So by default, he becomes effeminate. He hasn't, because men, we learn to control our emotions, and in this new age, that's a bad thing, right? Don't control your emotions, let it all out. But that is part of the characteristics of a core masculine man, because we're not being ruled by emotions, but we are ruled by standards, principles, morals, and discipline. That's what makes the difference between a surface level man and a core masculine man. Of men that you're just, dealing with men that you want to have long life partnership with and build communities with. And that femininity applies to men and women. They're raising effeminate men and masculine women. This is the problem. By having a single mother household, the mother has to raise the daughter to be strong, making her masculine, then has to raise the son to be feminine because he's adopting feminine traits. When they go out to the dating world, the boy is effeminate and the girl is masculine. The two cannot work together in a cohesive, coherent relationship. Therefore, we cannot have community. Miss Rebel Jew says, why does it always have to be the mother takes the son from the father? Sometimes men don't step into their father role. As Black Male TV said, they operate from surface level masculinity. Yes, sis, but again, if you look at the stats, that's not the majority of it. The majority of it, women are having children for men that they know aren't really all that, number one. Number two, they're taking them away from the court system. You can look at the court system. Those figures are direct there. We need to stop looking at the anecdotal, the very few that are doing certain things, and look at the majority of what's going on, because that's how we learn to grow. If we keep going back to this, but the few, but the few, but the few, that's keeping us in a victimhood mentality. We can't grow from that. Not denying that those men do those things. But if we don't raise the standard by focusing and praising those that are doing the right things, because that's what we need to encourage more on our platforms. That's what we need to bring more to the forefront. Because those men are in their surface level masculinity, they are led by men in core level masculinity. And if the core level men of masculinity are around, are being given the room to exert authority in the community, to be fathers over other children outside of their own in the community, then they can influence these men. Because there's been times when I tried to check a brother and I've had a woman tell me, don't tell my son nothing. He ain't your kid. How do I deal with that? He doesn't have a male figure around. I'm there to be able to check him and put him in his right place as a child, but the mother is stepping in to tell me not to say nothing. Explain that, sis. So, like I said, the whataboutism we can go on with that forever. We're looking about solutions. House of Bloom says, it's not easy, sis. My level of discipline and firmness to our son and the way I nurture his masculinity is still intrinsically done in a feminine way. And is clearly contrast from daddy. But that would be the case because women are the nurturers. It's your job to be a nurturer. That's your position. That's your femininity. That's the first connection that he has with a woman. It's the feminine nature of a mother. So then when he goes out into the world to find a feminine woman to be his wife and to be the mother of his children, he's not seeing that. He's seeing a masculine woman. That's not going to be someone who's going to say, yeah, I want to lay down with and have children with. On top of that, he's effeminate himself. You see what I'm saying? So, Raw Rising says the conversation should have been had before the baby came along. Exactly. This is the whole point of giving women choice. You can choose when you want to have a baby. So if the man is not there in that life, then we can't keep looking the finger at the men now, because there's been more than enough history, more than enough information, and more than enough access for women to make the choice of whether they're going to have a man in their life long term for having a baby with him. Miss Rebel Jules says, so no matter which way it goes, the women are to blame. Again, no, this is talking about taking accountability, sis. And this is what I have to have. This is where I have my issue with sisters who don't want to take accountability, because we cannot grow without taking accountability for our actions and behaviors. My issue is the same with brothers who act in their feminine spirit and don't want to take accountability. Accountability is an obligation or willingness to accept responsibility. Why is it important to take accountability? Why? It is important because it affects the process of resolving issues. If we want to move forward and grow, the first part of LSG is what? Love. And in that love is truth, honor, integrity, and accountability. Why? Because it affects the process of resolving issues. Conflict resolution. Accountability allows us to agree upon courses of action that we can get ourselves out of the problem. Taking accountability allows us to bargain in for collective advantage. You did something, I did something. Okay, this is my part, this was your part. How can we go forward in making it better? Taking accountability comes from crafting out outcomes to satisfy various interests, namely yours and mine, namely LSG family, LSG business, LSG lifestyle, namely breaking the generational curses. So if women, sister, are picking men that are low level, surface level masculine men and having children with them in a time and an era where they have contraception, multiple forms, more than men do, then yes, sister, they are at fault for that. Now they know. Are they going to make better choices? Are they going to teach their children to make better choices, to not deal with these men and make the same choices that they made? Or are we just going to sit here, keep doing the whataboutism game? Women have the right to choose now. As women, we have the power to choose the right men. There you go. Women have the right to choose. You choose who you sleep with, sis. Mr. Abdul says, if women can take on their responsibility and do the best they can in motherhood, so can men do the same. A lot of men are not being taught to be accountable and responsible. Yes, sis, but that goes again back to their single mothers who raised those men. This is what I'm saying to you. The sister on the video has a mindset that she doesn't respect men. And because she has this mindset, she's going to raise a child, a female child that A, thinks the same, and a male child that B, acts the same way that you are saying right here. Shahrazad Ali said it 30 years ago. I'll play the clip again, just so you know.
They didn't tell us that if you give up the man, you're going to take one of these things and it's worse and it will destroy your nation. They didn't give us that information. They made us think that it was some kind of glorified position to brag about the fact that I got my own job, my own credit card, and my own car, so I don't need no man. I don't even know how we got that mixed up. Ain't none of that got nothing to do with being with no man. You know, we talk about the great strength that we have as black women. Well, the welfare department don't rent government apartments to single black men. Those apartments belong to black women who are allowing this to go on in their home. We have not looked at what part of the responsibility do we share. Yes, black men sell a lot of drugs, and a lot of us black women get the money from them drugs and buy some of these fancy clothes we wear, drive around in some of these fancy cars. He is not doing these things alone.
Now, that used to be the case, but that's not the case anymore because the generations have passed. You have men, black brothers looking after their children, being in the household. But what you have is a lot of men on road or a lot of men out on the pookies and railways doing these things, and you women keep sleeping with these same brothers and hoping for different outcomes. You're picking those men. You're picking them. So if the men aren't staying to look after the children, you picked a man that wasn't man enough to stay and look after his children. He's at blame for not being a man. You're at blame for picking a man that wasn't a man. But we still have children that we have to deal with. We still have children that are going to be growing up and going to be thinking and moving a certain way. Is it going to be conducive to the society, to our community? Or are we going to be swept up in the reset? It's coming. It's here. It's coming. So a lot of men are not being, what do you say? A lot of men are not being taught to take responsibility. Well, I'm teaching them on this platform, sis. LSG, leadership mindset, truth, accountability, integrity, honor, dependability. I'm teaching them on there. Share the video. Teaching them about respect. Teaching them about how to pick a right woman. Teaching them about how to stand in their purpose, how to stand in their square. Teaching them about brotherhood. But as I said, when we're teaching positive things nobody wants to hear, right? But when we start speaking in different ways, then people want to hear. Share the work. Let the people hear it. Let the brothers hear it. The leadership program, the Patreon is going to be active this week. Teach your sons better things than what you were taught, so that it breaks the cycle. Blaming each other is not going to help. We have to break the cycle. Let's move in that spirit. Love plus support equals growth. Hashtag every time. And we can accomplish it, but we can only accomplish it by changing the paradigm. We can only change the paradigm by changing our value system, by changing our morals, by changing our principles. And by doing that, we now change our mindset. By changing our mindset, we now change our behavior. And by changing our behavior, we now produce better outcomes. Question is, do we want to do the work? Do we want to do the work? So guys, smash that like button, man. Smash that like button. I appreciate the conversations. Miss Rebel Jewel, I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the questions. Keep them coming, my sister. You see what I'm saying? Appreciate that. You know, she's getting in it. Oh, my mouse is frozen. What's going on? Oh, hey, sorry, people. My mouse froze for a second. So no, sis, keep them coming. I'm feeling it. I'm loving it. You see what I'm saying? I think the battery of my mouse is dying, people. For some reason, my mouse keeps freezing as I'm trying to move across. But hope you guys enjoyed the live. It was a lot longer than I thought it was, but you know, you guys were just on fire in the chat room. You ladies were just dropping some bars, so you know how to do it. Keep it going, keep it live, keep it entertained. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Share the video. I'm gonna try to break it down if I can. You know, try to do some bite-sized bits so you guys can share it. But again, I'm gonna be on tomorrow. I'm gonna talk about Kevin Samuels. Winter is coming. The Great Reset. And we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. So make sure you're tuned in about 10 o'clock. Subscribe to the channel. And for my ladies out there, you know, it's all love. I'm only speaking. Oh, there's my sister. She knows what time it is. There's Rebel Jewel. She says, and you know, I appreciate your honesty, sis. I appreciate your questions, sis. And I'll always come with an honest mindset. And I'll always come in good faith to you and give you the truth. Truth hurts, but we have to take it, swallow it, and move forward and grow from it because it only makes us stronger. All right. So I'm going to leave my ladies with one more clip and then I am out. So listen, family, guys, stay away from these females that be acting like this. All right. Ladies, if you see any sisters acting like this, understand that they're not part of the growth. They are part of the clown system.
Circus, Afro circus, Afro circus, Afro, polka dot, Afro.
All right. And yeah, sis. Oh, Miss Royal Rising says you dropped a whole lot of gems. Sis, I appreciate you, man. You dropped some gems up in there too, man. So I'm just feeding off the energy. I'm feeding off the energy. So big shout out to House of Blooms. Big shout out to Lola Porter. Big shout out to True Africa. Big shout out to Femi and the family. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to everybody, the Black Milk TV family. Much love to all of you. And yeah, you know your boy's gonna sign out for now. It's a bit late right now. I'm gonna get me a drink. My mouse is frozen, guys. It's like I'm trying to go down, but it's not doing what it needs to do. It's like I don't know if I'll be able to sign off on the live. It might keep me live forever. Okay, let me see that. What's going on now? Yeah, okay. Listen, I'm climbing around now anyway. All right, guys. Let me try and get this to work. Yeah, all right. Guys, I'm being 100% rude with you right now. Right? My mouse has literally just died on me. So let me see if I can do it manually. No, it's not letting me do it manually. This is funny. Yeah. Oh, I can't even see your comments. I can't even. Oh, this is just. Okay, hold up. Let me see. This is gonna help now. It's not. Let me change batteries right now. See if this is gonna do me right now. Okay, here we go. There we go. We're back in business. Battery's working. Much love, family. I'll say it was me clowning around. I don't know what. My battery just died on the mouse. It was wireless. But anyway, family, much love. Appreciate you guys. And catch you later. Peace. I'm out.
Circus, Afro circus, Afro, circus, Afro, polka dot, polka dot, polka dot.